We set aside this time for brief announcements that will be of interest to our community and friends. Please be succinct when announcing upcoming events or updates. If you have an announcement, please raise your hand. When Andy or I call on you, come up to the podium, unmute yourself, then speak.
I know it's a little premature and we haven't even gotten to Thanksgiving yet, but our holiday soiree, or as Mary likes to call it, hoedown, is, our get together, that's in between. We're just gonna have a party. And we're gonna have music available, and if you wanna do music, if you wanna sing, if you wanna read a story, if you just wanna drink and eat, that's fine, but think about it. Huh? Here.
On the 24th?
Yes.
Just you want to get together with the 24th?
Yes, that's Christmas Eve, yes. I would have given you more details later.
Hi, and following that, we can't overlook Thanksgiving, so we're going to open our home for a Thanksgiving potluck, just a casual. If you don't have plans on Thanksgiving, drop by our place. Starting around 3 o'clock on Thursday, whatever day that is, Thanksgiving Day. And also, and you may have seen some of the meditation pictures, we're going to present a slideshow of our hike that we did in Cornwall, England, and I hope we can be ready by a week from today at 11:30 right here. So we're going to do a slideshow of the best slides that we have of almost 1,000 pictures we took. We're not going to show we're not going to show all of them, just the best ones in a nice story format. So it'll be really nice. So yeah, hang around after the service next week, and you'll just get to experience England the way we saw it last month or in September. Thank you.
This announcement is to present the 2026 action plan resulting. If you were in church on June 29th, I did a presentation on if we would do next steps for the Indigenous land acknowledgement that we read every Sunday. And I've just been so incredibly pleased to hear the interesting things that people have added to that over the last few months. It just warms the cockles of my heart. Anyway, the UUCC board has approved the following action steps that'll start in January. 1, to have a Sunday presentation from a Salinan tribe member. Michael Woody, who is a Salinan, lives in Morro Bay, has agreed to talk to us in the near future, and I'll be arranging that with Randy. We would like to award a high school scholarship to a Salinan senior in San Luis Obispo County. We will display in some way our UUCC-ILA in this sanctuary. I would love to schedule a post-Sunday service trip to the Salinan exhibit at the Rios Caledonia Historical Adobe in San Miguel. It's a wonderful small museum that really pays tribute to the local Salinans. And to support the Salinan peoples through possibly being a 4th Sunday offering. Michael and I will be meeting with members of the Tribal Council in the near future to explore how we might best offer some financial support. I hope you might consider voting for this action step, at least for the next year, at the upcoming congregational meeting. So thank you. I was so motivated by June 29th, and I really appreciate your participation in the development of this plan.
Short announcement. Tomorrow night, 6:30 at the Jocelyn Center, drum circle, extra drums. Be there or be square.
Okay, long announcement. But this is the only time I'm going to make this. It's going to be in the newsletter. Okay, November 24th is the day that we'll be putting the Thanksgiving baskets together for 40 families. This is our 10th year partnering with the Link Family Resource Center and Denilda Reyes from the Cambria School District. We are receiving $1,300 from our funds, the church funds and the SEJC fund. Tally Farms and Teresa Lees from our Global Family Farm donate fresh produce, and we've also gotten things from the Broadhurst Farm. What we ask of you is to start pulling together non-expired food items of any kind and we are expanding our efforts to include unopened household products. So just know all of this information will be in the newsletter. But Monday, the 24th, November, between 10 and 11 is the day to bring your collection of items to the Grammar School on the Hill. If you can't bring it yourself, please ask someone else to do it for you. There will be plenty to do that morning if you have the time and want to help. The baskets include a frozen turkey donated by the Salvation Army, all the fixings for a feast, including pumpkin pie. Chris Fox has faithfully helped with this endeavor every year. I think she missed 1 year where Rebecca stepped in. Food insecurity has been high on Chris's list of causes over the years, and she looks forward to giving her time to this one. Thank you.
Wayne here. I'm here to tell you about the next speaker in the series, Green Space series, that is being held here on Sunday afternoons. This is interesting. Someone from the Audubon Society will be talking about the Audubon Conservation Ranching Program, which connects ranchers with their local birding communities. Next Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock here. And if you want to reserve a place, call or email Greenspace.
Hey, everybody. Claude Albanese, I'm afraid has COVID and pneumonia. He's in the hospital, but he should be discharged tomorrow and moved to a skilled nursing facility. His daughter, Bryn, told me they're hoping that he'll just be there a week and we'll be home a week from tomorrow. He loves cards, and she said even flowers. And but she's asking that they be delivered to their home because she's not sure exactly when he'll get back, and she'll get them over to Claude if he's not home yet. And then I also started a meal train as part of the care committee, which there's a number of you that are part of the care committee and got the email. But if you're interested, let me know, or I'll put you on the list to get the links for the future. And it's, I just put down Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bryn and Amber have a lot of other big issues going on right now. So at first she refused help in the way of food this week, and then she called me back. She said, we have a lot going on. Yeah, it's okay. So they'd appreciate some food donations this week, as well as, of course, next week when Claude gets home.
I don't think I'm taking Dolores's, what do you call it? When one sailboat gets in front of another and takes its wind. In the newsletter was this thing about a Side with Love phone call, week from tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you don't know about it, read about it. It's about the follow-up to No Kings 2. The thing I like best that it talks about is training in, let's see if I can come with this, strategic non-compliance. Anyway, lots of tools to learn in the newsletter that's in your box. Thanks.
Okay, so how many of you will be here for the congregational meeting? Raise your hand. Oh, good. Okay, good. So we're going to have enough people there. Okay, and that's November 16th. Be here.
Most announcements ever. Men's group meets tomorrow at 10 a.m. here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. The Zoom link will be emailed to you this evening.
Reminded me. Women's group meets tomorrow at 2 o'clock here in the sanctuary.
Well, next week, Andy Fagan will present All Roads Lead to Rome. Let's take a moment. Here we go. Soft. Let's take a moment to still our hearts, quiet our minds, and center ourselves. We come to religious community from many paths and with diverse needs. If you have come here seeking comfort, may your pain be soothed. If you have come here looking for answers, may you find new questions. If you have come here seeking purpose, may your call be awakened. If you have come here hoping to build a new way, may the path open before you. Words by Michelle LeGrave. Marcia will light our chalice here in the sanctuary. Those of you at home are invited to light your own chalice now. At times, our light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us and the community. Before we sing the first hymn, let me remind our remote participants to leave yourselves muted. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with us as big and loud as you like. Make it a joyous experience. Please stand in body or spirit and sing the opening hymn, For All Saints, number 103.
For all the saints who from their labors rest, who thee by faith before the world confessed, thy name most holy be forever blessed. Alleluia, alleluia. Thou wast their rock, their shelter and their might, their strength and solace in the well-fought fight. Thy name of darkness deep and one true light. Alleluia, alleluia. Oh, blessed communion of the saints divine, we live in struggle, they in glory shine, yet all are one in thee, for all are thine. Alleluia, alleluia. And when the strife is fierce, the conflict long, steals on the ear the distant triumph song, and hearts are brave again and arms are strong. Alleluia, alleluia.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are glad you have joined us today. Our UUCC sanctuary sits on land that the Salinan and Chumash indigenous peoples historically inhabited. The total enrolled membership of the Salinan tribe as of 2024 is 248 people. It's quite a small number. It's estimated that about 1,500 people of Chumash ancestry live in the combined regions of San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties. That's according to the Santa Margarita Historical Society. We honor their contribution to this region and give thanks for the opportunity to gather in faith on their unceded territory. Let us respect their legacy and protect their history as we occupy this sacred space. As Unitarian Universalists, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation run by the democratic process. We invite speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds, as well as community leaders to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest that connect with the UU 7 principles and 6 values: equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, justice, and interdependence, with love at the center. Today's service centers around the first principle. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, living and dead. My name is Sue Davis, and I'm your worship associate for this morning's service. Hey, good. We extend a special welcome for today's guests and visitors. I don't think I see too many. But if you wish and you're here, you can introduce yourself or your guest. There you go. I love that. Absolutely. If you're not on our mailing list, please visit the UUCC website at uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. Members and friends, please check out what's happening, the e-blast sent to you every week. This is a great way to keep up to date with our latest news. To see this or any of the past Zoom services, the recordings can be found on the UUCC website. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. Yeah. The affirmation is both a recognition of the nature of this community as well as a promise to which we aspire. Now let's sing the affirmation.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help, and to help, and to help one another.
Well, it's the first Sunday of the month. And we take time to celebrate all those who are having a birthday this month. Birthdays are special, a day when we celebrate your entry into this world and honor your existence. If you have a birthday this month, please raise your hand. When Andy or I call on you, please reveal your special date. Andy.
November 4th.
We'll be thinking of you. Any more birthdays? Yes, Steve?
The 25th will be the 13th birthday of our granddaughter, Irie.
Nice. My son's birthday also, but he's 40-something, November 25th. Okay. Any on Zoom there, Andy? No?
I don't see any hands raised. I guess not.
This birthday candle honors all our friends and family members who are also celebrating birthdays this month. Happy birthday. Now is a time for sharing your heartfelt joys and concerns with this, your spiritual community. Please feel free to come forward and briefly express a personal celebration, sorrow, reflection, or gratitude. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and concerns which may have gone unspoken today, but are deeply felt in this community. The first reading today is an excerpt from an article by David Askey in The Sun magazine about the death and burial industry in America. He writes, every year in the US, 90,000 tons of steel, almost 2 million tons of concrete, and 30 million board feet of hardwoods like walnut, mahogany, and cherry, not to mention 800,000 gallons of embalming fluid, are buried underground. It is all part of the $20 billion death care industry, which fills our deceased with chemicals, places them in satin-lined caskets, encasing these vessels inside steel vaults, and inters them in cemeteries alongside hundreds, sometimes thousands, of others who are buried the same way. Cremation is always an alternative, but it pollutes the air with mercury and carbon dioxide. And the energy expenditure of creating one's body is roughly equivalent to a drive from San Diego to Portland, Oregon. In either case, everything is handled by industrial professionals. The bereaved may not see the body at all. It is a far cry from how we buried our dead as recently as 150 years ago. Let us enter into a place of peace and serenity, where you are one with your spiritual being. Be at peace within your space, where the absence of all that is temporal is its most cherished gift. Let us enter the stillness. May we find the compassion and empathy we need to strengthen relationships. May we find ways to love each other well. May we not judge or condemn, but rather build a beloved community. The second reading is an excerpt from a speech delivered by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the first president of the Turkish Republic, to Australian and New Zealand mothers in 1934 as an expression of friendship and in commemoration of the horrendous battle at Gallipoli in World War I. A battle that lasted 10 months and resulted in the deaths of thousands of soldiers from both Turkey and Australia and New Zealand. Those heroes that shed their blood and lost their lives, you are now lying in the soil of a friendly country. Therefore, rest in peace. There is no difference between the Johnnies and the Maymets to us, where they lay side by side in this country of ours. You, the mothers who sent their sons from faraway countries, wipe away your tears. Your sons are now lying in our bosoms and are in peace. After having lost their lives on this land, they have become our sons as well. The anthem today is Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die by Willie Nelson. Played and sung by Steve Nathanson.
Roll me up and smoke me when I die. And if anyone don't like it, just look them in the eye. I did come here and I ain't leaving, so don't sit around and cry. Just roll me up and smoke me when I die. No, you won't see no sad and teary eyes. When I get my wings and it's my time to fly, just call my friends and tell them there's a party, come on by. Roll me up and smoke me when I die. Roll me up and smoke me when I die. And if anyone don't like it, just look them in the eye. I didn't come here and I ain't leaving, so don't sit around and cry. Just roll me up and smoke me when I die. When I go out, I've been here long enough. So sing and tell more jokes and dance and stuff. Just keep the music playing, it'll be a great goodbye. Roll me up and smoke me when I die. Everybody sing the chorus. Roll me up and smoke me when I die. And if anyone don't like it, just look them in the eye. I didn't come here and I ain't leaving, so don't sit around and cry. Just roll me up and smoke me when I die. Well, just take me out and build a roaring fire. Roll me in the flames for about an hour. Then pull me out and twist me up and point me into the sky. And roll me up and smoke me when I die. Roll me up and smoke me when I die. And if anyone don't like it, just look them in the eye. I didn't come here and I ain't leaving, so don't sit around and cry. Just roll me up and smoke me when I die. Just roll me up and smoke me when I die.
We're going from something light to something a bit more serious. Today's talk is titled, So What Do We Do with the Body? To be delivered by John Loring. John received a doctorate in religious studies at Claremont. His professional career was spent mainly in the field of architecture and education. For the past 13 years, he and his wife Susan have been part-time residents in Cambria and the rest of their time in my old neighborhood of Agora Hills. He identifies himself as a devout Christian heretic. One of the peculiar things about John is that he travels in different parts of the world and he frequently seeks out old cemeteries to visit, which leads to the title of his talk, So What Do We Do with the Body?
Well, good morning. You're a tough act to follow. It's nice to be back here. I hope you're all ready for this. This weekend, people of Mexican heritage mark the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, during which they go out to cemeteries for an evening, offer flowers, light candles, food, and all in honor and memory of the departed. This weekend also marks All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, during which Roman Catholics remember their friends who may be in purgatory. So this seems like an appropriate time to talk about death. And I know this is a sensitive subject, and perhaps one to be avoided, especially as if one has been touched by a recent death. But even if this isn't so for you, it seems that in our current culture, there has been a movement away from dealing with the dead directly. Think about it. In the past, when someone died, there was traditionally a time of being with the body. A friend of mine who grew up in Louisiana remembers attending the wake of her grandfather, where the body, in an open casket, an open wooden box, lay in the family parlor for 3 days as people would gather to lament, share food, and share stories. Over time, the family parlor was replaced by the funeral parlor. A little more money with this. Where the dead was present in a casket, open or closed, and a formal funeral was conducted. This was often preceded by a wake the night before and burial at the cemetery afterwards. But now, increasingly, in our very secular world, instead of a wake or even a funeral, we have what we call a celebration of life. Sometimes months or more after the person has died, with no trace of the body present, perhaps an urn full of ashes. And this is very much in contrast to how it used to be, both in our own past and throughout history. Other cultures don't seem to have a problem of being with the dead, as we see with such things as Dia de los Muertos and All Souls Day. Whoops. Okay. In traditional houses in Peru, as an example, it is not unusual to see skulls of the ancestors displayed in niches in the living room wall. To go back to Mexico for a moment, in the old beautiful colonial town of Guanajuato, the people there quite a while back discovered that there was something about the soil in the cemetery that petrified the bodies. And so they figured, well, why not? Let's just bring them all back. And they did, and put them in a big museum with their burial clothes and all, and people go and visit the dead. That incredible Mexican culture of being with the dead. Now, in the Toraja culture in Indonesia, 3 years after a death, the practice is to exhume the body, wash it, reclothe it, even offer it a cigarette, and sit with it for a time before it is reburied. Obviously, these people do not have a problem of being with the dead. So I think this is a subject worthy of reflection, and it seems a good time to reconsider the idea of being with the dead and deal specifically with the question, so what do we do with the body? When I was 4 years old, I attended my first funeral. I remember sitting with my family, gazing at the open coffin beyond the chiffon curtain, my father lifting me up as we walked slowly past the coffin my grandfather in repose, just an arm's length away, and later on the burial at the cemetery. That was my first answer to the question, so what do we do with the body? You put it in a fancy box and you bury it. Not really a treasure, but for a 4-year-old kid, a source of fascination and mystery. And it remains so for me. As we look through history, the body of a dead person often has had a mystique. In some ancient cultures, the cemetery, the necropolis, the city of the dead, was located on the outskirts of town because it was thought that the dead collectively would provide the first line of defense in the event of an attack. Throughout history, a body was to be honored, and this has been especially so in war. Whether you go all the way back to the Trojan War and how Hector was treated, or now the recent exchange of dead soldiers between Russia and Ukraine. The dead are paid a special reverence. Think of Ataturk's words at Surat. Your sons are now lying in our bosom and are in peace. They have become our sons as well. People from New Zealand and Australia, countries who sent their sons, know this quote by heart. In the American Civil War, those killed in action were so important that the practice of embalming became widely used so that a body could be returned home, sometimes at a great distance. And apart from the military, even for people who are impoverished and lost and have nothing, most communities provide a place in a cemetery, Potter's Field, where they can be buried and blessed. More importantly, in many cultures, death was seen as a gateway to the next world. The dead were buried with items that were thought would be useful in their next level of existence. It's amazing how much archaeological research today focuses on tombs and the artifacts that are found in them. So for me, all this lifts up the question, what indeed do we do with the body? How do we now pay the dead honor and respect? And even if we're so inclined, how do we prepare the body for the next world? Cemeteries were once a place of solitude and beauty before they came to be about plaques in the grass. This is a cemetery in Punta Arenas, Chile, just an absolutely gorgeous place. And here is the famous Père Lachaise in Paris, which probably some of you have been to, where many notable people rest in peace, have been placed in beautiful tombs. People like Chopin, Proust, Oscar Wilde, Maria Callas, Moliere, Marcel Marceau, so many other names that you would know, including some American by the name of Jim Morrison. So typically in Western culture, the body has been preserved, buried, entombed, hidden away in a cave, placed in a mausoleum, or even heavily preserved and placed in glass for all to see. Think about Lenin in Red Square, or here is Pope John the 23rd in St. Peter's. Sometimes the body finds its home in an architectural masterpiece. Cheops' place was in the heart of the Great Pyramid at Giza. Hadrian in Rome the Castle San Angelo. Then there's Petra, Jordan, which is just a pretty amazing place. And finally, what I regard as the most beautiful building in the world, apart from being a tomb, the Taj Mahal in Agra, India. And photographs do not begin to do it justice, I can tell you that. Not all famous and powerful people, though, need a monument like this. Here's Winston Churchill's grave in a quiet country churchyard in England. And a footnote to all of this, in some cultures, both Eastern and Western, sometime after death, the bones of the deceased are removed, exhumed, placed in a small box called an ossuary, and then put in a special place. So, in answer to the question, what do we do with the body, for a good part of Western culture, burial, internment, entombment of some kind has been the common answer. There's actually one other kind of burial. It's called a sky burial, or celestial burial, practiced by Tibetan Buddhists. Here the body is put on a mountaintop. The vultures come to scavenge, and the body is transported to the heavens above. It's seen as a final gift from the dead to the living. It's not your typical burial. So in the Unitarian Universalist tradition, there are two answers to the question, what to do with the body. And one, of course, is burial, and the other is cremation. Cremation was not practiced by Jews or early Christians, and only rarely in early Greek and Roman cultures. If anything, if a body were to be burned, it was a sign of vengeance, unrighteousness, or punishment of criminals. In other cultures, though, it was widely practiced. When you travel in India, whether you're on a back road or in the middle of a big city, it is not uncommon to see a shrouded corpse being carried by a group of people on its way to a funeral pyre where the body will be burned. In the early morning in the town of Varanasi on the Ganges River, it's very common to see several bodies resting on their biers, waiting to be burned, and then the ashes would be scattered in the river. And it was considered to be a sacred thing. In our culture, however, after what's often a very private cremation, the ashes are returned to the family, which may then be placed in a special place. Sometimes they're buried, sometimes scattered at places significant to the life of the deceased. And given the high cost of more traditional burials, cremation has become ever more popular. Several years ago, I learned of a decommissioned lighthouse up on the Oregon coast, which is now being used to house people's ashes. And this is sort of a metaphor, it seems to me, sailing away, being guided by the light. I mean, just, anyway. There's actually another kind of cremation. I'm going to let you look this one up, but it is pretty fascinating. It's called water cremation or aqua cremation, legal in 14 states. And you can look it up. Aqua cremation. So now, what should I do with my body? Shall we have a vote? As Woody Allen said, I'm not afraid of dying, I just don't want to be there when it happens. When my daughter died at an early age back in 2001, we immediately got a burial plot for her at the main cemetery in Santa Barbara, where she had been born. The idea of going out where you would come in. In our grief, we bought 2 plots next to hers. And through the years, I have thought more about this. I have thought about the alternative of cremation for myself, thinking of special places where my ashes could be scattered. I don't want them smoked. But then, well, maybe. But then, a few years back, I began to hear about green burials where one's body is shrouded and put in a basket coffin and buried in the earth where it can decompose naturally over time. Now, Robert Wilkinson was telling me about the alternative here, a little variation where your body is actively composted in the earth, but all that water, Robert handled that one. So after reading Derek Askett's words on the current costs at Sioux Red of American burials and cremations, I've been thinking about the alternatives for myself. To me, the bottom line is to do something that will provide some honor for myself and my heirs, perhaps provide a gateway to the next world, just in case, and also leave a legacy that whatever I choose to have done with my body doesn't take away more than it would add to the continuation of life. It's a question that confronts us all. So what do we do with the body? For now, the answer for myself, all I can say is, I don't know. I do know that being comfortable with death, engaging it, and especially allowing time for grief are all vital. And this includes, I think, being with the body. In ancient times, the matter of grief was so important that images of grieving faces and figures were sometimes sculpted into the sides of the sarcophagi. And finally, again, I know that along with grief, remembering and honoring the dead is ultimately what is important. And what we do with the body should reflect this. I'm going to take my box.
Yes, please. Don't want you to knock it over. Thank you, John. The morning offering will now be given and received. Please remember we are a self-sustaining congregation and provide all financial resources for our ministries. We recognize the spiritual value of generosity and invite you to participate. If you are viewing this service remotely, please use one of the methods shown on the screen. Thank you. Our thanks for all gifts given and received for the work of this community. Please stand in body or spirit and sing the closing hymn, Bring, O Past, Your Honor, number 290.
Bring, O past, your honor, bring, O time, your harvest, golden sheaves of hallowed life and minds by truth made free. Come, you faithful spirits, builders of this temple, to holiness, to love and liberty. Bring in glad thanksgiving, bell of grief and gladness, forth to town and prairie that our rest, O green go. Voices long in pardon, in your tones re-echo, praise to the highest, your peace to all below. Shrine of frontier courage, sunlight of decision, home and hearth of conquest for life's immortal good. Stand in years unmarring, sentinel of conscience, as from the past your stalwart walls stood. Church of pure reformers, pioneers undaunted, company of comrades sworn to keep the spirit free. Long o'er life's with rigor, preach eternal gospel, faith, hope, and love for all humanity.
As we prepare to extinguish the chalice, let us recite the valediction. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its lights in our hearts with its measures of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in. Please extinguish your chalice at home now. Now let's form a circle and join hands. John?
Okay, just a reminder, there are Halloween treats back there, so anyway. That's not the benediction, though. This is a benediction by a Unitarian minister, Kenneth Collier, What I Know. I do not know where we go when we die, and I do not know what the soul is, or what death is, or when, or why. What I know is that the song once sung cannot be unsung, and the life once lived cannot be unlived, and the love once loved cannot be unloved. And may we go in peace.